now is a great question, Matthew, because it relates to 3 or 4 of the other questions that you asked. They're connected. Yes. Because in a green zone, the chance of you being able to control an individual infection is so much greater than when you're in a zone where there's community spread. Because once you get an infection, you have no idea where it's coming from because it's all over the community. It's the same answer to opening the schools in a green zone versus a red zone.
Understood. Okay. Still risky, but more controllable. Okay. We talked about this for a second. You mentioned it when we talked about how to do it safely. And this goes on to, can those risks of playing the sport, can it be mitigated by testing? For instance, at my alma mater, University of Texas, in Austin, the athletics department is testing twice a week, EKG, echocardiogram, heart MRI, as well as isolating groups and wearing masks. The Big 12, our conference just said, yes, let's go forward and play football this fall. My school, other schools, is that good enough testing? Is that to control the situation, in your opinion?
Yeah. What they likely will do, Matthew, is that they will test everybody first to make sure that you start off on an even playing field. And then they will do it intermittently. That is probably the best they can do. If they are lucky, which I hope they are, because I'd love to see the sports that people enjoy, particularly in this time of stress, they could get away with it. They almost certainly are going to have a situation where somebody's going to get infected. The way they deal with it, how quickly they identify it, how quickly they get the person out of the pack and taken care of, will determine whether they can go through the season. Right now, baseball is struggling because they really did the right thing. They were very, very careful in their protocol. And then we had the Miami Marlins situation. And then the St. Louis Cardinals, where they had to cancel games. So it's rocky. I hope they can complete the season. But boy, it's give and take and really touch and go.
So in this conversation, where this conversation is also a moving target, and I really appreciate the context you give me. At the same time, I'm hearing this is a better way, how do you control it? Super spreader events, control the biologic, that will feed the economic. But people are doing it different ways. I want to say, if it goes back to what you said about it, we started this off about a mandate, a coalition, everybody unified in how we're going forward. Do you still think that the best way to be like, hey, what would you say? If you had no economic concern right now, would you shut it all? Would you say shut it all down? Everybody, mandate, no sports, no school, everybody back, take the tithe, put in the pain right now. Let's hold out through the fall. Let's make it to 2021 and have a look around and see where the dust settled and how we're doing and what our numbers are.
Yeah.
If you had no economic interest in the situation, which there is an economic reality, the survival, that I understand that. But
Matthew, it goes beyond the economics. And let me tell you why. Because if you shut down, even if there was no economic issue, what happens is that psychologically it could be devastating. And if you're really shut down, children may not get their vaccinations. People don't go to hospitals when they get chest pain. People who follow up because they have an elevated PSA or a mammogram that's got something. There's a lot of different things that could go wrong beyond the economy. That's the reason
and outside of COVID.
You bet. And it's exactly. In fact, there's projections that if you stay shut down, the number of deaths unrelated to COVID will go up. The number of suicides, overdoses, of family issues such as child abuse and things like that, they all go up. So it goes beyond economic.
100%. And, we're having to weigh continually day by day, as you just brought up, one bad thing for another bad thing and making choices. And somehow, some way, we're going to take a proverbial hickey and take a punch to the gut no matter which choice we make. So let's talk about, in this turn the page, marching orders out of here? What do we know? What are our bullet points that every one of us can say, put this down, this is simple. I expect it of myself, I expect it of you. The crisis is real. We are not through it. Fact, we got to bear down. Can we bear down everyone together? Can we bear down as a nation, as a people? Can we do that? So far, we have not proven we can do that. Can we bear down and really look this in the eye and go, this is a real problem, major problem, and it's going to be here for a while. We cannot be, I think we're somewhat in denial of it still because of how it's invisible in ways. Got to wear a mask. That's consensus. We agree with that? Is that a fact?
You bet. Absolutely.
Wear the damn mask. Wear the damn mask, right? Come on. Not taking away your freedom.
Where
does the badge of honor, baby? Where does the badge of honor? Right?
You bet.
Come on. Civic duty. For me, for you, for all of us. Come on.
Right.
Social distance.
Yes.
What's the number? I hear 6 feet. I hear 18 feet. I hear
at least 6. At least 6. All right.
At least 6 feet.
At least 6.
Okay.
And for goodness sakes, stay away from crowds. Just stay away from crowds. Try to be outside much more than inside. When you're inside, open the windows. Let the air in. That's really important. Wash your hands. And the thing that's important, and that gets to the idea about responsibility. I mean, what I like to do when I'm working, I get home late at night. I love to go to a bar with my wife, have a beer, have a hamburger, relax. Give it up for now. Bars are the hot spots. No hanging out in bars because we know when the bars get closed, the infection goes down. When people just let it rip and go to bars, it goes up. You know, I often say, and I don't mean this to be provocative about it, you know, take your choice. You want to open the bars or you want to open the schools? You know, if you open the bars, you're going to have community spread that would make it more difficult to open the schools.
Yep. Yeah, I think we all have to, myself included, have to really understand sort of a penance we need to individually take right now to get delayed gratification in the future. I think we need to better understand the urgency. I think we need to more weigh things like that. What do you want to open the schools or the bars? Weigh those scenarios. And there's no magic bullet answer. There's not a magic solution here that we're going to go, we're out the other side if we just did that. Even if we all do what we need to do, we're going to go through a hard time, but we'll go through it for a much shorter time. And if we take more responsibility right now, we can have more freedom tomorrow.
You bet. You bet. That's so well said. Absolutely.
Come on. Well, look, you're in an awesome position. You are in an awesome position. And thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for taking the time here today. You know, the self-correcting science in this evolving situation with a moving target. That's not easy to have a hold of every single day when science, especially with this. I wish you the best of heart and mind and knowledge, and I hope you're able to share it in ways that can give some clarity. You've given me some clarity today. Hopefully you've given a lot of people out there listening some clarity. We got work to do. We got work to do.
Thank you.
Everybody, let's just pull up our bootstraps and do this thing so we can look back on this time later on and go, boy, we took the right responsibilities at the right time, and we made this through as best we could. But would you say it's fair to say we are at war with the virus?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, I you don't want to get too metaphoric about it, but you know, our country has been through some very, very difficult situations. You know, we've been through a depression. We've been through a world war. I'm old enough to have been a baby during World War II, but I remember how the country absolutely pulled together. We pulled together after 9/11. This is equivalent to that, Matthew. We've got to pull together. Absolutely.
That's it.
Thank you.
I don't want to say much more. I like that right there. Let's pull together.
All right.
We'll look at each other, and we can have our freedom and our party later. Right now, let's pull together and do what we need to do. Thank you, Dr. Anthony Fauci, for your time. Godspeed, sir.
You too. Thank you for having me, Matthew. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.